Have you ever wondered what it's like to work at Google? I was lucky enough to be invited for an afternoon and it was simply amazing. It's going to be a great one, so stick around.
I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date, you're so fine, I'm so late, you sip wine.
If you've been following the channel, you must have seen my short series showing Google Gemini. I first discovered this when I was reviewing the Google Pixel 10. So the series has taken off and it's been shared all over from Instagram pages. I got featured on Supercar Blondie. Even if you Google search right now, Google Gemini oil change, you'll see tons and tons of articles and videos showing my clips. So it turns out my videos have been shared around at Google, and then I got an email to spend an afternoon at the Toronto office. Then I had some deep conversations about Google's vision, the future of AI, and startups.
It's official, guys. We're going to Google.
Hey Gemini, it's meeting time and I got these two outfits laid out. Which one do you think is better?
I think the blue shirt with the design and the grayish brown pants is the best choice. That tech casual vibe will fit right in at Google.
Okay, we are here. Just about to go in. This is super exciting. So when I first arrived, I had to show my ID. The elevators looked like it was something out of Cyberpunk 2077. And then I went upstairs to the reception area and I got my guest pass and I waited to be greeted. There was an immediate vibe shift. There was drinks in the hallway, a beautiful lounge to hang out there while you were waiting, and signs of Google and YouTube. And then I saw that there was a coat check, so I put my coat away. It already felt like I was in another city. We started with a fantastic lunch, and then of course I filmed the Google Gemini video using it to help me pick the healthiest options. And I must say, filming a Gemini AI video while I was at Google is totally bucket list material. And while I was filming the Gemini video, a lot of people were looking at me, giving me weird looks like, who's this guy? And since when does Gemini do that? It just goes to show you how the real world users like you and I can really shape the future of tech. And I'm gonna cover that a little bit more later in the video. And so everything is free. Hot meals, salads, sandwiches, ice cream, coffee, you name it, it's all free. Grab what you want. And all the workers are so nice. They're like, okay, thank you so much. Have yourself a great day. Like, they're so friendly. You don't get that type of treatment from like a normal coffee shop just downstairs around the corner. And there's a joke that goes around called the freshman 15. People that start working at Google can definitely put on some weight because of all the free food, so you have to be careful. There's a TV in the main restaurant that shows trending Google searches from across the globe, and I found that to be super interesting. They're showing in real time what their systems are doing. It was immediately apparent to me that Google's vision is to remove the friction from life and all the tedious day-to-day tasks that we're burdened with, so that the employees can focus on their best work. Nobody's micromanaged. I noticed that people work in bursts. People do something on their laptop, they write some code, then they get frustrated, maybe they hit a wall, they go get something to eat, go play a game, hang out, have a massage. That's right, massages are included and free for everybody. And then all of a sudden they may get an idea, go back to their laptop somewhere else, work on that a little bit, ask a team member, then maybe take a break, grab a coffee. So it's more of a lifestyle, and the entire environment has been designed to do exactly this. So there's a full gym. You can start your day with a workout, have a nice breakfast, so your morning routine would be set. There's even a virtual golf room. It's like nothing I've ever seen before from any other company. There's a full music room so you can play your heart out. There was someone in there drumming. I didn't want to film him, so I couldn't capture the whole room, but there's guitars, there's drums, there's audio equipment, there's endless games rooms. Honestly, I lost track of how many games rooms there is, from ping pong to a pool table and this other game that I don't know what it is. Maybe I'll ask Gemini. I think it's called maybe shuffleboard or something. There's even a 3D printing area where they prototype items and design different things and try things out. And recently I got into 3D printing, so I found that to be super interesting. And another thing I had never seen before was tech vending machines. So there's vending machines with laptops in there, and another one with like headphones and HDMI cables and things like that. So if you forgot your tech for the day, you could just scan your ID card, borrow whatever you want, and bring it back when you're done. Now there is even a YouTube office, but I couldn't go there. It's not open to visitors. There was a little Android sign that says no visitors beyond this point. Maybe I'll get invited there one day too. There's even a full product launching stage area where they do keynote speeches. It was empty, but I got to check that out too. There was these wooden panels on the ceiling that move when you walk by them. They actually sense that you're there. So it was like the room could feel you. And there's a wall with projectors showing the creator economy and different information about YouTube, you can tell how proud that Google is of the creator economy that they've built. Another thing I noticed is that people weren't in typical business attire. I saw people in t-shirts and jeans, which was very refreshing for such a big and successful tech company. I know I always have trouble trying to find clothes that fit me correctly, which is why I've partnered with Into the AM. They're a men's clothing brand based out of California, and they're known for their hand-drawn graphic tees that really stand out. They even have glow-in-the-dark ones. But the biggest thing I like is the way that they fit. I'm 6'4", and so I have a hard time finding t-shirts that are long enough, and the Into the AM ones fit me beautifully. They're nice and long, and they fit great around the chest and the shoulders. I've been wearing their clothes for a while now, and they're just perfect. I'm a huge fan. They look stylish, they fit great, and they make me feel like I'm a California tech bro. They've got sweaters, they've got jeans, and even athletic wear. And if you're like me and you absolutely hate shopping, they even have memberships and bundle deals. So you can subscribe for clothes to come in every so often and always get fresh threads, so you're not wasting time shopping in a mall. It's really refreshing to find a clothing brand that's really focused on just men rather than being an afterthought. So check out the link to Into the AM in the video description, and make sure to use my code PROSHOPPER for 10% off your purchase. And so at this point at Google, I had some food and checked out the office. I got to know the general vibe of the place. Then I got to have a really deep conversation about the future of AI, Google's vision, and startups. And this was easily the most valuable part of my day. The first question I had to ask is, why was I invited, and what stood out about the Gemini videos I had been making? They said that Google really values people with technical knowledge, but also who understand human behavior and how consumers think. The mix of technical knowledge, sales, and consumer psychology is super rare. And that's why they found the real world practical examples that I was showing interesting. My goal with the channel is to take the complex information from these big tech companies and make it simple and digestible for you. And if you guys don't know me, I have a background in engineering. I studied mechanical engineering, but I spent most of my career in sales. And so that's where my focus is. They said Google doesn't actually look for like super genius technical engineers. They're looking for people that understand consumers, but also have an engineering background, like I said. They care more about who you are rather than just what you know. So then I asked, how will AI change our day-to-day lives in the coming years? They couldn't give specifics of future products, but they said what's in the works right now is gonna blow our minds even more. We're just on the early versions of Gemini and this whole AI revolution. I got goosebumps when they told me that. I can only imagine what they're working on for 2027 that these engineers have already seen. Then I asked the question that's on everybody's minds. With all these new AI tools, there's a lot of concerns about privacy and people getting worried that they're going to lose their jobs and we're going to have an economic collapse. And they had a very interesting answer. They said, you gotta try and use all the AI tools that are out there. Real world users actually can discover the limitations and features of AI and become experts even more than the people that created it themselves. The people that learn the tools and master them are the ones who will win. And this blew my mind, and I thought to myself, how could this be possible? How is it that the users can become the experts even over the creators? So I came up with a perfect analogy. Imagine if you're Gibson or Fender and you make guitars. Does that mean that you're a master of rock music and you're gonna make the next big rock song? No, the next hit rock song is gonna come from the musician, from the rock star who's gonna use the guitar and create that next big song. They're the master of the guitar and learning how to use it and make a masterpiece from that. That's what AI is. Google and the other companies are the tool makers, but it's up to the users to build the masterpiece. Here's another analogy. Imagine if the CEO of YouTube started a YouTube channel. Would he make better videos than Mr. Beast? No, he wouldn't. No one can make better videos than Mr. Beast. He's mastered YouTube. He understands the tool better than people that work at YouTube. So you gotta learn it, use it, and master it. People like you and I can become the masters of AI. That's why I'm pushing Gemini to its boundaries and doing my series, and so many people are loving his videos and they keep going viral. So don't fear AI replacing your job. Master the tool because the next layer is here and it's early. You can get in on this now. Over the next 5-10 years, millionaires and billionaires are gonna be made from learning how to use these tools and building products and services around them. Then I asked more about what the future of AI is going to be local, and they said that the Google Pixel actually has hardware in it to run AI models locally. Because sometimes when I'm making my Gemini videos, if the signal is low, sometimes you can see it says delayed response because of poor network, but the hardware is already there to run the language model locally. And that'll give you much faster responses. It'll give you better privacy because all the data remains local on your device. And then you can also use it offline. If you have no signal, the AI still works. So cloud-only AI is not the end goal. That's just the early stages. Eventually, they're going to want to have the language models running directly on our devices. Then I asked, what is the most exciting thing at Google right now? And the answer was a tool called Google Anti-Gravity. Now, this is an agentic development environment. What does that mean? Again, complex terms. I'm going to make it simple for you. Right now, we use AI and we ask it one thing and it outputs one thing, right? Now, Google uses Gemini as their basis. It's like the foundation. Anti-Gravity is a development environment for creating software, but it's agentic, which means that you can set up different agents. So instead of me just asking it to do one thing, I can start a whole project and there'll be multiple different agent AIs. One can do research, one can write the software, one can make the user interface, one can think about the financials and what we're going to charge and how it's going to make money. So you can actually deploy essentially a full software development team, and you're like a manager. It will even show you examples of what it's created, and like a designer, you can click and highlight, say changes, do that, and then the coding AI will go back and fix the code to match what you want. So while you can write code in Gemini and ChatGPT, Anti-Gravity takes that to a whole other level. I'm super excited to play with it and try it out. I'm going to do a full video on Anti-Gravity if you guys want. I'm going to see what I can build with it and share my entire experience. Then I had a conversation about startups. Apparently, a lot of people that work at Google had a startup company that they scaled and then they sold it. And then now they work at Google for a little bit more stability and all the benefits that are there. So they said to create a successful startup, you have to identify a real pain point and create a high quality solution for that. And it's best to get strategic investors. Like that means you get one or two people who are going to invest in your company, who are already successful, who have built successful startups, rather than doing something like crowdfunding, like Kickstarter or Indiegogo, because with those, you now have hundreds or thousands of investors. You're getting flooded with a ton of different ideas, and those people may not have the right ideas. They may not be successful people who have built a startup. You're better off working with a handful of people, and you're getting strategic information from people that actually have skin in the game and experience. Another thing you can do is bootstrap it, and that means that you're basically building a company from the ground up on your own, not getting any investment. You're going to build a product, try and sell it, take some profits and reinvest. While that's an okay strategy, it's going to take a whole lot longer. And they said that successful startups don't make any money for a while, which is counterintuitive, but they want to have revenue. You want to have sales, but you don't want to show profits, because if there's profit, that means that you're taking money off the table rather than reinvesting it back into the product. So the best analogy, it's like if you're trying to grow an apple tree, and while the apples are very small, you're already picking them. You're harvesting too early. Pulling profits out of a company too early is like pulling small fruit off a tree that haven't flourished properly yet. You're just going to slow down growth. And so my day was essentially done. I was saying my goodbyes and I was going to leave. And my thoughts were that this feels like a bubble in the city. It's like its own ecosystem. When I was in that building, it's a very exclusive place. The moment you go downstairs and you leave the building, you're just back in downtown Toronto. It's a totally different environment in that building. It's a weird feeling. It feels like you're in a different country or something. Their culture and how they treat their employees really explains Google's success. When I got home, my mind was just racing. I had so many ideas. I couldn't sleep properly that night, just thinking about all the different stuff I learned and that happened when I was there. The visit really gave me a lot of insight and perspective as to what I want to do with this channel going forward. We're getting a lot of subscribers. I really appreciate you. So there's going to be more Gemini and more AI experiments coming, as well as amazing product showcases and reviews. And let me know in the comments if you want me to do a full video on anti-gravity. I'm going to play around with it and try and wrap my head around it, see what I can create, because I haven't seen anyone really talking about that. So make sure you like and subscribe for practical tech videos. My name is Baz and this is Pro Shopper, where tech is made simple. My goal is to make it easy and understandable for you. So if that sounds good to you, then I hope to see you in the next one.